You are letting one closed doors completely destroy your manifestations. Guys, I keep seeing this in my comments where it's people saying, oh, I started affirming, I started manifesting this, and then the 3D showed me the opposite. So it's not working. Like, I'm so upset. Like, what am I doing wrong? That's what you're doing wrong. You're letting the 3D dictate whether it's working or not. I said this on my TikTok, but I wanted to reiterate it, where just because a door closes, that doesn't mean anything. If you think of, like, let's say you walk into a hallway and there's 100 open doors and you need to find one specific room. There are 100 open doors and you need to find one. Do you know how long that's going to take you to go through every single door to figure out if that's the one you need or not? What manifestation is doing for you is closing all those other doors except for the one that you want to go into, okay? And I don't care how appealing this door was, how much it seemed like it was the right one. It's not, or else it would have stayed open. So when you see all these doors closing, it's not a bad thing, okay? Like I said, you're trying to find one room. So it is so much faster for 99 doors to close and you to see the one open one than it is for 100 open doors that you have to go trial and error to see if that's the one that you want, okay? So do not look at, don't look at a closed door, a closed opportunity, the 3D, showing you the opposite as a bad thing. You probably needed that to get onto the path of what you actually wanted, okay? It wouldn't have closed if that was what you were supposed to do, okay? If you are manifesting your dream man, okay, and you're texting 3 men and all of a sudden all 3 of them ghost you, yeah, you're going to be like, what the heck? Like, what is going on? Okay, but you don't realize that what's actually happening is those 3 men ghost you because they were all pieces of shit and you just didn't realize it yet. And you're going to text your girlfriend and say, oh my gosh, everybody's ghosted me. Let's go do something. Y'all go to Target and you run into the most perfect guy you've ever met in your life. And it snowballs from there, like that was the bridge of incidents that you were supposed to go down. Stop looking at closed doors like that was the one path, because there's no such thing as one path. Like, there are so many different realities, different possibilities. Why are you hanging on to just the low-hanging fruit that you can see? Okay? If you wouldn't need to manifest something, you wouldn't need to put effort into it if action was all that it took. If you already knew the exact route to take, like, why would you spend time manifesting, So you need something that's different from what you're actually seeing right now. And, not every time are you going to have this huge, shitty situation happen. You're not always going to have, a bunch of doors closed right in your face. It's not always going to be this, really shitty time where you're like, what is going on? Sometimes manifestations come through super easily. Sometimes you'll be manifesting a phone call and literally as you're affirming, it'll happen, but not all the time, okay? And you just cannot let it phase you. You have to be able to sit there and say, this is bringing me closer to what I want. You have to be able to sit there and be like, that was the old story. This just means I'm in my new story. You have to persist in the end. You have to be so freaking clear on what is going to be the end of the story. I've said this too. Think of it as a movie, okay? Would you watch a movie where the character was like, oh, I want to get $1,000. and 2 minutes in, they get $1,000. It just falls from the sky. Like, that's not interesting, you know? But if you already know the end of the movie that they get that $1,000, it doesn't matter what's going on in between. It doesn't matter what happens in those 2 hours. You already know the spoiler at the end. You know at the end they get what they want. That is you every single time, you know? Like, you know the end. And that's all you get to know. The path there, you don't know. The time of the movie, you don't know. All you know is before those closing credits, you get what you want. You get what you've said. You get to decide what the end of the movie is, okay? So you gotta stop freaking out when something goes wrong. You gotta stop thinking that it doesn't work, because when you do that, when you say, oh, I don't think manifestation works, you're changing the end of the story. You're saying, oh, actually this movie ends with manifestation not working. Why would you do that? Okay, you have to stick to what the end of the movie is, what your desire is. You have to decide. It doesn't matter what is shown to me, because I know, I have faith that this is how it's going to end. Okay, you don't need to stress about it. And I know, trust me, I know situations can happen and you're like, what the fuck? Like, things will be going so well and then something happens and you're like, I get it, but you have to just keep your mind set on the end. Eyes on the prize, eyes on the end, okay? I just wanted to come on here and talk to you about it because I keep seeing it in my comment section, which is fine. It's the most difficult part of the manifestation, is persisting. It's the only part that's difficult whatsoever. So keep affirming. If you start getting those doubts, that is your sign to take a moment and get yourself back in the state. Make sure you know where the end of your movie is. Make sure you are actively choosing the end of your movie, and that's it. All right. Anyway, guys, I hope y'all have a great old weekend, and I will talk to you later. Bye.